Ah, welcome, Internet. We're back to our old habits. You missed the first, like, half hour. It's fine. Don't worry. Not much happened. Um, so let's
I was gonna
see.
ask if I could grab the armor for my horse that I had
Yes, that is
already.
that is definitely ready by now. And you can pick that up, add it onto your horse. We found that, right? The barding in D&D Beyond.
I
It's
can't remember to be honest.
I know it was called barding, and we definitely found it, but I don't know if we figured out how to add it, or if we just added it as an item.
Do you know
Uh,
what it would give me and I'll just add it for now?
Let me look it up right now.
Sorry.
different levels of barding. You can go like leather, cloth, things like that, to chain and then
Yeah,
plate.
we had
Which one would I get?
gone. I believe you had had a chain, which is a 13 plus the dexterity modifier of the animal.
A 15 plus dexterity?
13.
13.
13.
Yep.
Thank you. I'm sorry. All right, that's ringing a bell now. Sorry, I thought I must have forgot to write that down.
And then, let's see what else. Items. We're going to search for.
Does it give anything to the armor class?
Yeah, it's base 13 plus whatever your horse's dexterity bonus is. So if he's got any dexterity bonus, if he's got a plus modifier on his dexterity, then that gets added to 13.
Okay, so it'd be 14 armor class. Cool. Thank you.
Let's see. Oh, so it's not common potion of healing, it's just potion of healing. I got it. Yeah, so it's the rarity is common on it. So yeah, those potions of healing, for reference, will do 2d4 plus 2 hit points regained with each one drank, and it does cost an action, I think, to use a potion? No. It doesn't say it does, so now I'm not sure. I don't remember. Anywho, you guys travel on to Steel Springs, yes?
Yep.
Right. You arrive, uh, coming up over the crest of a large hill. You look down over what is the river valley below, or at least a decent sized creek running through the area, and you see the outlying edges of a much larger battle. So you can kind of assume that all along. Trying to get this centered. Can you guys all see that map? Kinda?
Hmm.
Okay. So you can kind of assume that along the north and east sides are sort of battle lines, and there is a much larger battle going on outside of this area. But what you are essentially exposed to is right here. It's the fray rules, as they are referred to in the Dragonlance book. So there's kind of craziness going on. You see Kalaman forces engaged in this area in two groups of 2 or 3 to 1. Um, and from your vantage point, you can see running down the opposite sloping hill a group of around 6 Kalaman soldiers who have been dismounted and who are all very clearly very bloodied. Uh, and chasing behind them is 6 mounted Dragon Army knights that are bearing down on them quite quickly. And you see the Kalamites, I guess. You see them firing, you know, sparsely with crossbows, turning and running. And right as they reach the edge of the river crossing, one of them actually trips and lands down in like the mud. His companions stop. Two of his companions stop and begin lifting him up, and they're all trying to get into the river. Uh, and so far, you guys are not like on the scope of the battlefield. Like you're just kind of hanging out on the path here. But that is your current situation. What I will have you do is roll initiative for me now.
Jack, how far are we from all that at this point?
So here's something fun. I actually scaled this map out so that it reads in feet. How cool is that?
Nice.
So from the other side of the creek where the closest Kalamite is standing, you're about 88 feet to the center of your group. Somewhere's in there.
Nice.
84, 88. Yeah.
And what's the speed of our mounts?
Would be... Jen, do you have your warhorse thing handy or no? If not, I'll get it off from D&D Beyond. Warhorse.
So my riding horse doesn't actually say its speed on here.
So warhorse has a speed of 60 feet, so that's what I will assume for your horses.
Okay.
They were probably, if they weren't war horses, they were at least reasonably decent looking horses that they gave you. They weren't old nags with like hollow cheeks and like hobbled hooves and stuff. Like they're decent horses. So yeah, we'll go 60 feet. So you guys can see, hopefully. I have to keep popping OBS back on to make sure that you're in frame, because OBS for some reason cuts off a little tiny bit of the map. There we go. And I do not have an encounter rolled, and I also do not have the log up right now, so let me either pull the log up so I can see what you guys are rolling and write it down.
We can read them off if that's easier.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm super unprepared tonight.
Not a problem.
I don't know where my notebook went. That's odd. Alright, so we don't have Archivir, we've got Elfwin here. Elfwin, what'd you get? Oh, John, you're muted.
Sorry, 17.
Okay, Elfwin got 17. Gregory.
12.
12. Malcolm.
13.
And Rue.
Rue's 14.
14. Okay.
I don't know if we figured out, should one of us play for Archivir, or do you think that, or did Archivir stay back?
I would assume that Archivir probably just stayed at the fort for one reason or another for this session. Let's see. Okay, so order really quick. It'll be, looks like Elquin first, Rue second, Balth third, Gregory fourth, and then you guys can, and we'll see what the other guys do. So Elquin, what would you like to do? You kind of look around, and like I said, you can see armies clashing all around the outside edge of this area here. And
Can I assume since they don't see us, do we have like a free action to discuss what we want to do before I do anything?
So like you basically walk over the hill and you enter combat, but nobody seems to have noticed you yet.
So
like,
I quietly ask everybody if anybody has a plan of action, or should we just rush in and attack and try to save those guys?
Yeah, I mean, we're here. We should try to help if we can.
Gregory plans to charge.
Yeah, Gru's probably already charging. He's like, I'm gonna grab him with my earth hand.
Fair enough.
I don't
Alright,
want to.
well,
I don't want to hurt the
Eloquent
horses.
Eloquent is going to cast Hail of Thorns. Let's see, we're gonna do level 2 Hail of Thorns. And then she is going to aim her bow at let's see, I'm just trying to figure out how I can do the most damage. Let me see sorry, 1 second, I just want to check what my range is on that. Alright. A target with each creature within 5 feet of that target. So let's see here. I want to aim for like the dude who's in the thank you, Zach. Like to the second row in facing when you're looking to the left, like basically in the center there, with all those guys surrounding him. A little far back, a little bit, two guys back.
So like the back row back here, this guy.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I just want to do the most damage as possible with the most the guy with the most people around him.
Gotcha. Okay. Within 5 feet, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. If we hit this guy, it's going to be about 4 of these guys, no matter which one of them you hit, as long as you hit one of these center 4 guys. So.
Yeah, basically, I'm aiming
more to the
for
left. You're thinking.
How about right in the middle there, that first row, that first guy, that'll have 4 guys around him, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's say I will aim for him.
Okay.
All right. 1 second. Dirty 20 to hit.
That will hit.
All right. So that's 5 damage to the one guy. And then $11 damage to all the surrounding guys and him.
Okay. Let me write a couple of things out here. Five plus 11 to this guy, so he immediately looks very bloodied when he gets hit with all these thorns. 16 from and 11 damage to each of the other guys puts 1, 2, 3.
And I race forward towards the group of bloodied Kalaman soldiers and try to get in between them and the other knights.
Okay, so you're gonna move your full 60 feet on your mount, right?
Yep.
Well,
how is that river crossable or like?
the river is crossable. However, so where there are stones, it is regular terrain. They're basically stepping stones right there. Any other areas, like the actual water itself, would be considered difficult terrain, so half movement speed. And anywhere where there is trees, foliage, brush, you can kind of assume that that's also difficult movement speed. But anywhere that's open is regular speed.
Oh,
So
I will follow the path of the where the stones are if that's the safest terrain, but I'll carefully ride the horse through there so as not to
yeah, I mean, you're definitely able to ride the horse right up into this pass here if you want.
Yeah. And that'll be my turn.
Okay. Since you charge up to pass. We move on to our next person, who is Rue.
She's gonna do the same. Would she have had time to pull the hood up, so that of her cloak of invisibility, or would that count as her action this turn? She definitely wasn't like riding invisible, but like as soon as I guess what I'm thinking is like as soon as they heard that they were close to the battle, she would have pulled it up.
Yeah, you could. I mean, we could say you pulled it up ahead of time for sure.
Okay. So she's gonna charge the 60 feet forward, and call out to the guys, "Somebody take my horse!" and then jump up into the air, which is probably very confusing for the horse and the people. But there's just a unridden horse.
Yeah, it just looks like a riderless horse just charging into battle, and then all of a sudden it just like, yeah.
All of a sudden the horse is looking around. Yeah, and then so sorry, can you bring up I was trying to figure out like where these enemy dudes are. I guess who basically like whichever one is closest to the whichever one's closest to like furthest front, she's gonna cast Maximilian's Earth and Grasp on.
Okay.
And like the guy, not the horse.
So the hand comes up, avoids the horse, and plucks the guy. Tries to pluck the guy off. Okay. It is a saving throw for me, right?
Yeah. Strength saving throw.
Strength saving throw. Okay.
15.
Let's see. That is a natural 20 on my brand new dice set. Yeah. Look out! I bought some Titan dice online. Not sponsored by them either. YouTube should be. Yes, he makes the save on that. Is that no damage then, or is it just not grappled?
I'm trying to figure out. It says so. This must make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 2d6 bludgeoning and is restrained. As an action, you can cause the hand to crush the restrained target. It must make a strength saving throw. It takes 2d6 bludgeoning on a failed save, or half as much on a successful. So I don't know if that means like half as much on a successful every turn, or only after the first turn. Which
I would assume so. We'll take that. Like
which one?
It swats it. Like he swats.
Okay.
But doesn't grab him or anything. Like so, he's not restrained. He's just got smacked for half damage.
Okay, so 2d6. 6 damage. Or sorry, 3 damage. Yeah, and then that's pretty much it. She's gonna launch herself up into the air 20 feet or so.
Alright, and that was the guy all the way on the left. You were doing that too?
I think so. Like whoever's closest. Basically, she was trying to like fuck up whoever's in front of this charge so that everybody else, is like scrambled.
Okay.
So yeah, whoever was closest to the guys in the river.
Yeah, so this soldier just manages to kind of give a little duck down, and maybe like the pinky on this giant earthen hand just kind of clubs him in the top of the head a little bit, shakes him, but nothing too bad. Alright. And if that is your turn, then we're on to Balcom.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, Malcolm's going to, ride his charge his horse forward or whatever, or on foot.
Yeah, you've got a mount as well. So you're 60 foot. Did you want to ride into that same area down the path?
Yeah, I don't know what the speed is.
So it's 60 feet from where you are.
60 feet? Yeah.
So you're able to get, down in here somewhere. Let me drop you exactly on 60, but...
Good enough. I am going to bonus action cast spiritual weapon.
Okay.
Right over top someone where we're fighting here. Maybe it got hurt or whatever. Do that at a second level. Because it's a second level spell. And
How far away are you able to summon it?
60 feet.
Okay, so yeah, you should be able to make it. You're going after the mounted knights that are chasing these soldiers, right?
Yeah, it'd be an 11 to hit, which I'm guessing misses.
That does miss. Yep.
And then, as an action, I'm going to invoke duplicity, and there'll be a second me also riding the horse.
So is it? So you're riding tandem, like one's
Yeah.
riding behind the other.
Yeah. One's like, he's like holding my back, or maybe I'm holding his back. I don't know. Duplicates. That's it.
Okay. Like your clone here. Boop. It's like built in. Your power's built into this game.
So this guy's running. He's like riding a horse, but without a horse under him.
Well, no, I think he's just on the same horse, right?
Oh,
He's just like, yeah, he's just riding behind Balcom or in front of Balcom.
I was picturing like a Gangnam style kind of dance going on.
That's funny. Let's see. All right, Gregory, you're up.
Okay, charge my horse and hit him with a lance.
So your horse isn't able to get quite up to these other knights yet. You can get as far as like the front of this little island here.
Oh, okay. I thought I could double move with the horse, and it would be able to. I could lance as the horse double moves, and I lance as an attack.
Is that what we can do?
From what I've read, there's no official D&D charge unless you have a special ability like a feat to do it. So there's just a regular lance attack.
Okay. So you can do this, but I'm gonna need your horse to make a dexterity check to make sure he doesn't trample the Kalaman soldiers that are in the way of this.
All right. I will roll the dexterity. I'll just roll D20 and we'll see what we get. And well, that's a 7. So probably I don't know. I imagine is let me look.
Warhorse gets a +1.
Okay, so that's an 8. That's great.
So yeah, you do knock over one of these Calamites on your way
Okay.
through. Much to their consternation, like you hear you hear one of them kind of let out a shout, and the other one be like, "Roderick, are you okay?" You're not sure, but you think maybe your horse might have kicked this guy in the head. But you do charge past.
I yell my apologies.
And yeah, you meet with these mounted dragon army soldiers.
Oh well, that's fun. I assume an 11 doesn't hit.
An 11 does not hit. Yeah, and this is all at the same first one that's leading the charge, I'm assuming, because he's the one up in front. And
Yeah.
So now he's feeling a little bolstered now. He's now dodged 2 of your guys' attacks, essentially. He yells out some slur in whatever his native language is. Some strange form of common tongue. Really heavy accent.
All right. Well, that would be the end of all of the actions I have. So now I stand there while he is 10 feet. Should be 10 feet from him. But or unless I can't ride past him, I assume, because there's other guys.
Yeah, because I mean, you're essentially riding right up to the line of the battle if you go anywhere past these guys.
Okay, that's where I end up then.
All right, so let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And sure. So as you charge, one of the mounted dragon soldiers towards the back of the group cries out a loud command, and it is carried down the line over and over by each of these contingents of soldiers to farther back in the woods and in the battle that's going on there. and arrows begin arcing over the trees from the north. Let's see. Four. Just figure out who they're basically targeting here. Two. So Rue, you and it looks like Elquin, who is within 5 feet of you, need you to succeed on a DC 14 dexterity saving throw or take 10 piercing damage from these arrows.
Okay, she's invisible and she launched 20 feet into the air, so I don't know if that would...
I will give you advantage on that, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I rolled a natural 1, plus my dexterity thing would be 7.
Okay, so you're going to take 10 piercing damage.
And I rolled 13.
Okay, so yeah, this is more like, I don't think necessarily they're aiming at you, but you definitely
It's just a lot.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of arrows coming in, and you just sort of get caught in this path. And you also take 10 piercing damage. At this point, you see on the outskirts, the forces of the Kalaman military are doing their very best, trying desperately to push forward. And what I'd like to have, let's see, who would normally be up next? Elquin, I'm going to have you roll just a d20, and we're going to see sort of how this battle is going. Oh, Jen, you're unmuting it.
Sorry, I got a 6.
6. Okay. So that's amazing because I also rolled a 6. So the forces of Kalaman push and push against these kind of massive creatures. There's these the Draconians. They're mixed into the lines of the human soldiers and the goblins, orcs, all kinds of almost creatures that have come to be join this Red Dragon army. But push as they might, both sides sort of are at a impasse. There's no ground gained and no ground lost. There we go. Words are hard. And the Dragon Army mounted soldiers continue their move forward. Trying to turn in here. The Kalaman soldiers continue to make a run for it. And you hear them. One of them cries out, "Many thanks, good night. We would afford a hasty retreat." They are all moving at about half normal speed because every one of them is grievously wounded. But they trudge on into the river and are just starting to get to the opposite edge at the end of their turn. The Dragon Army Knights, one of them rushes past and is going to attempt to attack these guys. They do, however, Gregory, pass you on their way by, provoking an opportunity attack from you. And you're on mute, Bill.
Sorry, I have a lance in my hand, so I'm at disadvantage.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll it twice. Oh, 17 is nice. Let's see what the second one is. 19. I assume that'll hit.
You do hit. So you're able to just direct you just sort of see him running past and you're like, nope, and just poke the lance out into his path.
14 damage.
Nice. All right, and this was not one of the ones that was damaged prior. Okay. He is now looking bloodied. You jabbed him quite good through the sternum. Let's see. All right, the remaining groups, one of them is going to charge in. You're going to have 3 of these guys attempting to attack you, Gregory.
Excellent.
Let's see, they are just longsword attacks, but they do have multi-attack, so that's going to be a little rough. Here is their 4. Alright, so as they approach, first guy whiffs twice. Second guy, 13 doesn't hit you, I'm assuming.
Nope.
15 probably also not.
No, I'm a 20.
Yeah, you're in full plate and everything, right? Alright, so.
Yeah.
Well, I used all my good rolls early, and that is a 19 is the highest he got, but he gets a +4 to hit, so that's a dirty 23. So I got one hit out of 6. Used up all my good rolls early. No fun. What's his damage on that is 6 points of damage.
I laugh at it.
And so I imagine that it's just those 3 horses kind of charging into you, and as they slam into you, it's just clang, 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 clang off your armor really hard. And let's see, that comes back to Elquin's turn next.
All right.
Elquin, you are still mounted on your horse, right?
I am.
Okay.
Is sorry, 1 second. Is Ruination's horse near me?
Yeah, she's the horse hasn't really gone anywhere since she jumped up.
All right. I yell for one of the 2 most wounded soldiers to get on Elquin's horse and get out of there.
On your horse or on Rue's horse?
On Rue's horse.
Rue's horse, okay.
I assume Rue won't mind since she's spying.
Nope. Yeah, she also yelled to them, "Get on my horse."
Okay. So what I'm going to have you do, make an animal handling check for me. We'll say DC 12 to see if you can kind of just shove the horse in the right direction to get it close enough for them to grab on.
6.
Okay, so you sort of smack the horse, and it starts to run towards them, and then stops and bulks at the sight of the other charging horses, and it just sort of backs up against the rock right here. So it's, if you can see, but it's right here. So I will call that probably a free action, because all you're really doing is smacking a horse in the butt and being like, "Go that way."
All right. So for my action, I'm just gonna stay right. I'm gonna. Let's see. Is it there? All those soldiers are right in the middle of where it's safe to cross in the water. There's no way around them, I assume.
Yeah, they're occupying the stepping stones right now. They're sort of midstream. And I mean, it's not like a hugely deep creek. It's like maybe up to their waist at them in the very middle if they're not standing on a stone.
Oh, I don't want to like knock them around or take a chance with my horse. So I'm going to cast. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, I'm gonna cast a level 2 Hail of Thorns again.
Okay.
And I am going to aim for the furthest back, the ones that are closest to the soldiers on foot.
Okay.
But the one furthest away from the soldiers and Gregory.
Okay.
So that.
Gotcha. The one all the way to the right. Gotcha.
Yes. So it as not to.
Yep. Yeah, everybody would be clear of the thorns. Other than that, it would just be the 4 knights or whatever, 4 soldiers.
That's what I'm going for. Awesome. 16 hit?
16 just misses.
Oh, bastard. Alright, I guess that's my turn.
Okay, yeah, the thorns rain down, but this time they're more ready for it. They tuck down, using the cover of the trees. Okay, no bonus action, or that was bonus action, then your attack.
Yeah,
okay.
Hail of Thorns was my bonus action. I'm gonna stay where I am
1, 2.
and just try to yell for those guys to hurry up and try to grab someone to grab that horse.
Gotcha. Rue, you're up next.
I'm trying to figure out where. I'm just looking at this on my phone, so I'm trying to figure out where the Dragon Army folks are all now. It looks like 4 of them are right in front of the Kalaman. Oh, okay, and then
You got 4 of them
everyone-
right there, 4 of them in the back, 4 more in the back. Gregory's
Gotcha,
sort of
and-
holding off a large group of them.
he's right between. He's between the back group and the front group.
Yep.
All right. She's still got that. That hand just chilling there. So, tank. Yeah, up to a minute. So she's gonna use meta magic to bonus action grab, basically like whoever would be most in the way. They were grabbed.
Okay. So before you went up and attacked the guy,
And actually, if there's any that are undamaged too, that's who she'd be going for.
so use the blue one for your earthen grasp. It's actually probably fairly accurate in size too. That's fun. Okay, so you've got you do have a guy in the back row that is undamaged that he'd be approached a little bit closer to where your hand was.
Whatever will get in the way works. And then strength 15 saving throw.
Okay. So let's see, we're at +2 on our save. 14 does not make it.
Nice. All right. So
And you were trying to grapple him off his horse, right? With this?
yeah, I assume, especially if the horse is moving, I assume that would rip him off of it.
Yeah.
So six damage. And then restrained. He can make a strength saving. Use its action to make a strength check against 15, and on a success, they escape.
All right. And anything else?
Yeah. So she's gonna. I guess she's just gonna cast Fireball at the back group and regret not doing that right off the bat. But is there a way for her to do that 30-foot radius without, hitting like all the guys in the back without hitting Gregory?
I think you should be able to cast it behind Gregory, or behind these guys. That is. So it's 30-foot radius.
Oh wait,
Or
20-foot radius.
20-foot radius.
20-foot radius, so 40-foot diameter.
Yeah, so you can
Right.
definitely encompass all of those guys. It's going to get the guy that's in the earthen hand as well. Yeah, you would just have to cast behind them is all. But you could totally do it. Like, from your vantage point, you're up 10, 15 feet in the air, so you're looking down over these guys.
Yeah.
What's the range on the fireball?
It's a 150-foot
Okay,
range.
you got plenty. So yeah, you're shooting it about 70 feet away.
And it's a dexterity saving throw 15.
All right.
Right. So are you hitting Gregory or no? Because I would understand that you're an evil wizard and casting spells.
Well, she's not. But if Gregory sees the fireball glowing and yells "hit me too," then I guess she might. Does Gregory wanna?
This attack, as you're attacking, I believe your invisibility cloak sort of like flashes you into existence as the attack is happening, allowing the surrounding kind of forces to see like where this fireball came. Like there's like a foomph, like the blast of the fireball sort of blows the cloak up for a minute. Everybody can kind of see, oh shit, there's something up there.
Yep.
And like again, this world not super accustomed to magic, so a fireball launching out of the air all of a sudden, the battle becomes silent. Like just for a moment, like everybody stops. Like there was a wonderful movie called, I think, Child of Man, with a great scene in it where nobody's ever seen a baby, and this guy's running with a baby through the battlefield, and everybody just stops for a minute, and then like a grenade goes off. So like it's kind of like that. There's like a 3-second pause for holy shit, what's boom that. Everybody stands there for a minute. So these guys did not make their saving throws.
Oh yeah.
So they are about to get fucking blasted. I like how you were worried about the horses a minute ago, though. That's funny.
Yeah, she's lost her temper.
Like,
Well,
all right,
she-
fuck the
she-
horses.
She saw all these soldiers coming through and was like, oh, cool, free horses. And then they like missed a bunch of stuff. And she's like, no, yeah, fuck these guys. All right, 37 damage.
Okay, you drop them. I mean, these guys are wasted. They're blasted off their horses. The horses are like, pretty much you give to them. To use the old school first-person shooter term. Yeah, they're done though.
And she's hoping that this also sets some shit on fire that might concern the foot soldiers around. I don't know if any of them are close enough for that 40-foot radius.
So from where you cast it, the only thing really flammable is some nearby brush, although there is a tree that it looks like it might spread to. Gregory, there is a large kind of flaming circle on the ground a little to your north.
Yeah.
Just a massive field of fire. Like all the grass is on fire and stuff. And yeah, the Kalaman forces closest to this, they sort of are now, you can see them like visibly shook. And the same with these. They're both kind of trying to retreat away from this fire a little bit.
She's also going to drop down so she's not like still in the space where they saw the fireball come from.
Okay.
And if it's possible, like as a free action, she would just drop the healing potions that she has next to the Kalaman dudes.
I will yell out, "Don't worry, friends. That level of evil sorcery can only come from our allies."
She cackles.
All right, so I will say you are able to not only go down, but you're able to kind of guide your horse out to these two. So it reaches and they begin to kind of begin the process of getting a couple of these guys up on a horse. Balcom. You're still over here on the island.
Yeah,
Both of
I'm
you.
gonna target the most hurt-looking person and cast Healing Word. As in, even though I can cast it as a bonus action, I'm gonna cast it as an action, and then as a bonus action, I'm gonna move my spiritual weapon back a little and take a swing at someone here.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to float it over there.
$21,
That is a hit.
10 damage.
Okay. This guy's gone, this guy's gone. And this is to the one that has taken damage in this group. Your spiritual weapon is able to dispose of him. What was your spiritual weapon again? Isn't it just more Balcoms?
Yeah,
It's just like a bunch of like Balcoms running around.
yeah, but in the shape of like a mace, though. Like two Balcoms are like holding each other's legs, and then like there's like which is just another Balcom that's like balled up. Give him the old El Cabong.
So one of these four is now down. The guy in the front left. Let's say I don't know who designed these miniatures for the game, but they're super detailed. They're like so detailed that it's hard to get them to show up at this scale because I've got them shrunk down so much.
They look like the writers from Willow.
Yeah, right? Like something like that. I believe this is from a game called War Master, which is again like it's another like knockoff Warhammer type of game, something similar, like another war game like that. But yeah, there's a lot of really good minis for this on Tabletop Simulator. Wargaming community seems to be huge on here. I wish I had more time. So yeah, spiritual weapon and
Then I heal someone. I'll move up too, like try to put myself in the way.
Okay.
Between these, like put the two of us between. I'll get off the horse and leave it open for someone to grab.
Okay. So yeah, you're kind of up in front of these guys. We're getting a little crowded on the board here, but I get the general idea. Okay.
Hey, quick question. I realized I should have rolled a concentration check when I was hit by the arrow, but I don't remember what that means. What do I roll for?
Concentration, I believe, is I'm gonna check because I wanted to say it was a wisdom saving throw, but now I'm not sure if it's wisdom or intelligence. I know it is a saving throw of some sort.
Sorry, I guess I could look that up. I thought that
Concentration.
more experienced folks here would.
As soon as you start casting spell. Right there it is. Okay, bloop. Concentration. Weird. Maybe I should have typed concentration check.
What was the question? Sorry, I kind of. I'm.
I was wondering. So she took damage. So what do I roll for concentration?
I think it's 10 or it's half the damage, whichever's higher.
Yeah, it's 10 plus the damage you take. So you roll a d20, but you can add your, I think your Constitution modifier, and it's Constitution saving throw.
Put the brains on Nick.
All right, so I rolled 17. Add my Constitution modifier, and then it's 10 plus the 10 damage I took is what she's rolling against. So okay, so it's both of those are 20. So does that mean she passes, or the
Yeah,
does
if
it
you
break her
match,
concent-
if you match it, you would pass.
Okay, word. So she just barely held on. Cool. All right. Sorry, just learning some sorcerer mechanic, or I mean, I don't know. I think Maggie just never took damage because Tohan always
Yeah,
sucked
it's funny.
it all up.
I don't think I've ever had to remember to tell somebody to do a concentration check because I don't know when the last time that I remembered that you guys have concentration spells was.
So I've run 4 campaigns of D&D 5e, and I'm now playing a sorcerer for the first time. I have no idea what any of my spells do. And I'm like, I have to look it up in the book every time. So I'm gonna buy like the sorcerer cards because I'm sick of being like, oh, which spell should I cast again? I don't know.
Yeah, spell
And
cards.
the answer's usually magic missile, but
Yeah, magic missile or what's the cantrip there? The
Firebolt.
yeah, hellish rebuke was another one,
Oh.
right? Like tiefling sorcerers, I know get like all the tieflings get hellish rebuke. And I think the
Yeah,
draconic
so-
bloodline ones do too.
Yeah, she took wings instead of hellish rebuke.
Ah,
I'm playing a mage of high sorcery in another campaign of Dragonlance,
Nice.
but it's behind this. So, but I didn't get to go to that one today because I couldn't sit there with the pain meds. So this being online is nice.
so Rue, if that is it for your turn, right?
Yeah, sorry, I think that was Balcom's turn. I just
Oh, that was
remembered.
you. Yeah, okay. So Balcom
Yeah.
just went. So Gregory, it is your turn.
Gregory's going to put the lance aside, draw his longsword, and move the horse to attack.
Okay.
Closest enemy who is trying to like help these guys get away.
Okay. So yeah, you move in for the kill.
Let's see. I've got that cool precise strike, so I'm going to use advantage on that. Let's see. That's a 14. 19's better though, huh?
It is indeed, and it hits.
Well, that's terrible. So I hit for 14 damage total.
Not too terrible. He's looking bloodied now.
Then I attack him again. This one's just a regular attack, but I hit for 21,
That hits.
and he takes 10 more damage.
Okay, so your second attack fells him from his horse.
Nice.
And with that, the remaining 2 soldiers that are mounted, let's see, well, it would be the Kalaman soldiers next. Give them all a shot here. Seeing that you guys have vanquished most of these inbound horse riders, the 3 closest to the one in front on foot all take swipes. Let's miss. Oh, actually. That's definitely a miss. That's Also a miss. So yeah, it looks like the 3 of them all take swipes and all 3 miss. The others, the dragon army, one of them is going to swipe at one of these soldiers with its multi-attack. It's 1 miss. 2 misses. The other one on the right-hand side is going to swing at you, Gregory, with his multi-attack. 12 does not hit, and a 14 does not hit you. So swing and a miss twice from them. The Kalaman soldiers nearest begin yelling for you to usher the horses towards them, though. Like, save the horses! Save the horses! Like, we've got to get the fuck out of here! Also, what's going on in the battle? Let's see. Balcom, roll me a d20.
All right. $18.
Okay. So this time you notice that the forces of Kalaman have begun noticing, one, that the fireball took out a bunch of these Dragon Army mounted soldiers, the cavalry that had broken through their retreating line. And so this has kind of emboldened them a bit, and they begin to push back. Even the outnumbered forces here, fighting 2 and 3 to 1, begin to fight with a ferocity that you haven't yet seen from these guys. And they are able to push back to the very borders of this kind of glade here and hold off these forces. And that brings it back around to Elquin. There's 2 guys left that are sort of in the middle here.
Excuse me. All right. I have any of these soldiers moved out of the way for me to go across with my horse?
Not really. Like, they're all kind of gathered up on the edge of the stream here. Like, there's sort of a clusterfuck going on. Also, I don't know what I did.
What about with Balcom's horse free? Can I motion for a couple of them to get on Balcom's horse with my free action?
Yeah, I mean, like, you can definitely encourage them to do so. Like, they've already got it in their mind at this point. Like, you see them, like, the 2 that, last turn, the 2 that you had given, Rue's horse to, they're both up and on the horse and have begun to kind of move forward. They're just sort of waiting for the rest of their group.
All right. With great reluctance, knowing that there's no way for me to get through. Actually, I'm sorry, Zach. I'll be right back in like 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Never mind, I'm back.
Okay. It's a quick 30
sorry.
seconds.
I will get off my horse, motion for a couple more soldiers to get on my horse, and I will run towards the one in front and attack with dual swords.
Okay. As you dismount, a dark shadow passes overhead, and you hear a scream increasing in volume. Directly next to you lands a Kalaman soldier picked from the ranks by the Dragonel that is flying over you. Mounted Dragon Army soldier waving his sword in triumph as he dropped this thing, trying to drop it on you, but did not land directly on you, just lands next to you.
Is the soldier dead?
Yeah, the soldier's dead on impact. He just hits. The 6 surrounding the area sort of let out a gasp and look up, and they're all freaked out. And yeah, go ahead and I'm sorry, make your attack roll with the double swords.
All right. My first attack is 17.
That just hits.
All right, so that is 6 damage. Oh, and actually, as a bonus action, can I put my mark on him as well?
Absolutely. Yes.
Cool. So that's 6 damage, and then my second attack. $14 doesn't hit, right?
14's a miss.
All right, I still do 1d6 for that other attack though, so let me just roll that real quick. And another, one more damage.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely made some marks in his armor and sliced through a bit, but no super visible damage. He doesn't look bloodied yet. In case you guys can't tell, they're not super tough. They're just, they're soldiers. Let's see. So Elquin, if that's it for you, Rue, you're up again. Assuming you are now down on the ground somewheres.
Yeah, she's kind of. Yeah, she dropped down to give those healing potions to the Kalaman guys. So there's now a rider on a Dragonelle above us.
He has passed over. He's not, he doesn't seem to be, hanging around. He's just made a pass across this area, and he's back into the battlefield. Although, looking up, you do now see that there are several of these Dragonelles up above the fray, all in this surrounding area, maybe as many as a dozen. And you see this seems to be a common tactic. They're zooming down into the battle, and sometimes one, sometimes two soldiers will go up with them several hundred feet into the air, and then they're dropped to their death. Oftentimes on regiments of troops.
And who's in front of us right now? There's 3 foot soldiers and a couple dismounted knights, or
there is right now just the 2 mounted knights that are directly in front of you guys. Everybody else has kind of been wasted, and several feet away you see the Kalaman forces have pressed these guys back.
all right. She will. I guess she'll use her action to. I assume these guys are within 30 feet of the. Yeah, they must be. Yeah, so she'll move that hand over and grab one of them.
Okay.
So strength 15.
Find a spot for the hand here. So the hand just it does the old like the goose shadow puppet. The whole hand just turns and looks, and then just goes across the ground like the Loch Ness monster. Tries to grab a hold. Strength 15 saving throw. We are rolling at +2 on our save, and he rolled a 4. Titan
Nice.
dice, you've betrayed me. That's it. I don't want your sponsorship anymore.
All right, another 6 damage, and he's restrained.
Okay. All right, he is now looking bloodied.
And then she's going to launch back up into the air 30 feet, and I would say she's, well, yeah, I guess that's it.
Okay. Balcom.
Okay, Balcom's gonna send his duplicate up to the knights and grab his foot and cast Inflict Wounds.
Okay. I like the idea that none of your enemies ever knows which one of you is the real you.
Also, that probably none of us know either. Right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Balcom, what are you doing? That's suicide. And then you look behind you, and he's just standing there. Oh, never mind.
Giggling.
Yeah.
All right, that's a 21 to hit because I get advantage because my duplicate's right near me
That is a hit.
on attack rolls. $32 necrotic damage.
Oh my god. Am I assuming you're going for the one in back that has not been injured yet? Is that a safe assumption?
Yeah, I mean, probably whatever one was closest to me, honestly. So.
Oh, okay, so the one in front, yeah, he shrivels up. You literally, as he's trying to push the horse past you, you grab his ankle and cast Inflict Wounds, and it looks like somebody just let all the water out of his body, and this shriveled husk of a dude just falls off his horse, kind of cracks when he hits the ground.
And then bonus action, spiritual weapon. The last one, I guess.
Okay.
That's 26 to hit.
That hits.
12 damage.
Alright. He is now looking bloodied. And Gregory. You can ignore the body in between you and the other guy.
All right. Well, then I'll move up to the other guy. Start swinging.
All right,
19.
that's a hit.
Oh, that's a pathetic 5 damage. Then an 18. Oh, 6 damage. Much better.
Okay. 5 and 6 damage.
Yeah.
All right. He on the second hit, you slice him across the midsection, and he drops from his horse, deceased. You are all quickly able to get these 6 soldiers onto the remaining horses of these dragon army riders, and
As
although
soon as
they,
I get a moment, then if my horse is free, I jump back on it.
yeah, absolutely, you're all able to regain your own horses. These guys double up with you, and a few of you might have some of them riding on the back. The Kalaman army is able to push off the remaining dragon army soldiers enough, and they begin a organized retreat and less of a rout than it was before, and you are able to begin exiting the area with these 6 soldiers leading the way. One of them in particular tells you that they're going to meet up with Dare at Highwater. And it is just moments before a dozen mounted soldiers gallop from the tree line, rushing south toward the crossing. Kalaman's colors are visible on these soldiers' armor, despite the dents and the stains of battle. It's easy to pick out Derek among these riders in his distinctive Salamnic armor. Another figure sits behind Derek, sharing his steed. As these 12 approach you, you see Derek spot you, and he immediately makes a beeline for you, waving the other riders along with him. As he reaches you, you realize that it is none other than Lord Baccharis himself riding behind him, sharing his mount. Baccharis' face is sort of glazed over, and he's got this look of just utter stupor on him. Dara is covered in blood, like the whole front of his armor is just splattered with what you hope is the blood of his enemies. He tells you that the Dragon Army's forces absolutely overwhelmed Kalaman's troops, and that the main force of the Dragon Army is in pursuit. He urges you to follow him to a fallback point to the east. Yeah.
I quickly tell. Are we in in a free action moment where I can speak to him?
Yeah, I mean, you guys are not technically in combat right now.
I quickly tell him of what the governor said, and that Sir Gregory has the ability to relieve the nobleman of duty, of the ability to lead.
He says, "Good. I'm glad that it's official then, because I've already done so." He looks back and he says, "This sod would have had us all killed by his command."
I quickly tell him that that I believe he should maintain command, and I'm not here to take command, but he is to keep it.
He nods at you solemnly and salutes you in the traditional Salamnic fashion.
Which is the middle finger.
What? No, I check his oil, right?
So he begins to lead the remaining troops to the east, and you've traveled probably a brief 5 or 6 miles by the end of the day, and finally he looks around and he says, tells everyone to stop for a quick rest. So you are all able to take a short rest if you need one. And in this rest, he sort of describes to you that Lord Baccharis ordered an assault on the Dragon Army forces, unaware of their reinforcements that were nearby. The battle swiftly swung against Kalaman's forces. He introduces you to a few of the other commanders, and he explains how they backed him up when he ordered a swift withdrawal, saving many lives. In the retreat, forces commanded by Baccharis the Younger were overwhelmed. Baccharis the Younger is unaccounted for, and he believes him to be dead. This entire time, Lord Baccharis the Elder seems to be in a state of shock. He's just sitting around, like sitting on a rock somewhere, like muttering to himself, like talking about his son. Darrett does send out scouts back to the west to make sure that they are not being pursued any further. And when they return a few minutes later, 15, 20 minutes later at the end of the rest, they inform him that they do not seem to be being pursued. And Darrett tells you he has word that Marshal Vendry's forces are traveling from the west back to protect the city. He thinks that the best plan is to let the troops rest overnight, and then in the morning he would encourage you to ride ahead of them to Kalaman to inform Governor Miat of what happened while the surviving troops rendezvous with Marshal Vendry on the way to Kalaman. So yeah, you know that it's about a day's ride back through this rough terrain. And keep in mind, you have all not slept as of yet, since you left, since before you left Kalaman, I believe, right? So you have
Yeah, I
the
don't know
have the
Yeah,
opportunity.
I didn't know
to-
how far 30 miles was. And I thought it took us like a couple days to get back from the castle that we waited to back to Kalaman, or
Yeah, it was probably about 3/4 of a day's travel to get back to Kalaman the first time from where you are, right from the Wheel Watch, that is. And yeah, you were not really provided with the ability to rest after leaving the Wheel Watch. Like, I believe you took a rest there, traveled for 3/4 of a day, and then basically immediately left to go to Steel Springs. So you've probably been awake for about a day and a half now. So you're within a half day or so of risking the first level of exhaustion. So if you wish to sleep and leave in the morning, you are able to do so, or you are also able to leave now.
Rue's down for resting.
I was gonna say I'd feel a lot safer if we're behind some walls here. Unless we're gonna stay out here and make some traps or something.
I mean, do we have a literal army chasing us at the moment?
So they don't seem to be in pursuit, according to Darrett's scouts. It seems like they've moved more to the east to join up with the larger bulk of the Dragon Army forces, because they did make the Kalaman forces retreat. Remember, this was a Kalaman offensive, so the Kalamites went out to like attack the Dragon Army, and now that they've fallen back, the Dragon Army doesn't seem to be pursuing.
I would say also be as soon as Rue sees that Garrett is there, she would have made another attempt to mind whip a Dragon L, try to get the rider to fall off and try to convince it to join her. She's obsessed with this now.
So any of them that you saw on the battlefield, you probably wouldn't have been close enough to do it. I would
Okay.
like you're looking at them and they're like, a quarter mile, a half mile off, but they're just up in the air so you can see them.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you're definitely thinking about like the next time you're within so many feet, you're like, I'm gonna get one of those fuckers. They are
Yep.
pretty cool looking too. I'll see if I can pull up a picture.
This is kind of a dumb question because my last character, I'd never really had to worry about healing during a short rest. Can I take all 5 of those rolls during one short rest, or is it just one per?
So you are allowed to use up to half your hit dice in one roll, I believe, for a short rest.
Gotcha.
Until you take a long rest, and then you can restore the number you can use.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can use as many hit dice as you want, but like you only get half of your maximum hit dice back every long rest.
Okay.
I mean, so like if you have if you're level 10, you have 10 hit dice, and you can use them all. But the next time you take a long rest, you only have 5 until you take another long rest and you get another 5.
But if I only use 2 of my 5, I'm okay.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. Thank you.
I'm pretty sure that's how hit dice work.
Yeah, and it's like there's also the variant we used to do. I remember where it was like when you burned a hit dice, you got a full hit dice back. Like you didn't have to roll for it, but
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Just you know, it made it a little easier on the math. You don't have to like screw around and keep rolling and keep rolling. That's also like a more resource friendly version of it too. It's like you're not burning your resources as fast when you play that way. But I think 5e is pretty much easy enough where you can do it the regular way, and it's so yeah, so you are guaranteed, like, you've taken a short rest essentially. You were given a short rest by stopping to talk to Derek. But you have the option, like I say, to stay through the remainder of the night and then leave in the morning for Kalaman, or you can try and set off now and get there early.
Eloquent's indifferent. She'll leave it up to the group to decide.
There's not like carts or something we could rest in while going, is there?
No, there's not really any sort of this was just strictly a attack party, so they didn't really bring a ton of like supplies. They brought, you know, what they needed to survive the attack. They were expecting to go out, kick some ass, come back. Not like a prolonged field campaign.
Drew's like, can we just like tie ourselves to the horses and then tie the horses to each other or something? He doesn't know how animals work. Is that a possibility? Can we create some kind of like caravan?
I mean, I suppose you could tie the horses off to each other and then have one person taking the lead, sort of like taking a watch.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm picturing.
But I would say you probably don't gain all the benefits of a long rest from that, because you're on horseback, so you're not really going to be like sleeping very well. Like, you could probably sleep for a while, but it's going to be pretty uncomfortable at best. Like, I would say maybe it staves off the exhaustion for another 12 hours, but it's not a permanent fix for sure. And you're not going to regain hit points or anything like that from that long rest. It would be a rest in name only, essentially.
Yeah, she's down for that unless others object.
Yeah, I'm good to push on. However
Okay.
we need.
So if there's no naysayers, then I will assume that that's what you guys are doing. And
Wait, what exactly? So we're tying our horses together and then sleeping while one person keeps watch?
I think we're just heading back to Kalaman and we'll sleep there. Yeah.
That would, because Eloquent is not big on the whole tying the horses together, especially because it's pointless for Ruination anyway, because she's not going to get any spell slots back, I assume.
Correct.
Right. Basically, they're just staving off exhaustion by like sleeping on the horses, essentially, and like whoever's keeping watch is making sure that they all go in the right direction.
Well, Ruination's just, or excuse me, Eloquent just is fine with just going forward and getting there. If that's what everybody else is agreeing. She doesn't feel the need to sleep on while horses are tied together.
Okay. So you guys, probably Rue takes a nap while you guys are traveling a little bit, and maybe everybody just gets a little bit of an option to sort of doze off for a moment. But it is essentially an uneventful trip back to Kalaman, and you arrive. Let's see. You're leaving at night, or at dusk, anyways, and it's about a day and a half if you're pushing through. So when you arrive at Kalaman, it's going to be around midday. We'll say, yeah, something like that. Maybe early midday. As you approach the gates, a crowd is milling about the gate ahead, and dozens of commoners murmuring excitedly, looking past the closed portcullis. "There's nothing to see," shouts a guard. "Please, move along."
Rue jumps up into the air so she can see whatever it is. Hopefully.
So you float up high enough that you can look over the walls of the city, and you don't see anything specifically that draws your attention, but you do notice that it seems like lining the streets on the way to the castle, there is kind of a buzz about the people in town. Like that particular path going to the castle, it almost looks like there's extra people all around it, like it was like a parade route or something. And as you guys get closer to the gate, one of the guards looks down and notices Sir Gregory, and he says, "Raise the portcullis!" Another one yells, "Raise the portcullis! Raise the portcullis!" Portcullis gets slowly cranked up, and they allow you back in as they recognize you're a military contingent.
I salute the soldiers.
So as you do that, one of the guards working the gate kind of gets your attention and calls you over. And he lets you know that about an hour ago, a retinue of Knights of Solemnia entered the city and headed to Castle Kalaman. He says, "I know you've dealt with some people being not so friendly, and some of the knights aren't quite so well liked in Kalaman. But at this point, all allies are welcome." He tells you that the lead knight's name was Caradoc. Tells you he was a charming man and that he had a message for the governor. He also tells you that Caradoc entered with at least a dozen heavily armored knights, like something out of a fairy tale.
Excellent. Do I know that name?
Make me a history check.
Okay. I'm actually proficient in that. How? Ooh, all right, 21.
Is that a buddy of yours?
So yeah, you recognize the name Caradoc. Let me scroll back down to this. Wish they had this in better order. So you recall that Caradoc was the name of an obscure knight of the Order of the Rose who died during the Cataclysm. He was a servant of a lord whose name you can't quite remember, but you remember him being kind of a big deal in the history texts.
All right, so this guy's supposed to be dead. Not
Oh,
just
good.
dead, long dead, right?
Yeah, like long dead, like pre-Cataclysm dead. Nobody's heard the name Caradoc in many, like a few, like probably 300 years.
Well, that's weird. Someone's taken that name. Okay. I will inform the rest of the team.
That something smells fishy there. Maybe we should go check it out.
Yeah, a little odd, huh?
Yeah, I guess we rushed to the governor's house.
Okay. So you approach the castle, right? Which contains, the house of the governor and also Marshal Vendry's house and a few of the other kind of higher ups on the Council of Guilds. And as you approach, the gates of the castle are closed, but the few guards that are nearby recognize you. They recognize Gregory and the others of you that have signed on for military service, and they allow you in. They also confirm that a contingent of knights is meeting with the governor and the city councilors in the main council chamber, but a couple of knights remained in the castle's courtyard if the characters wish to meet them.
Yes, let's go meet them.
Okay. Okay, so you head to the courtyard, and it's largely deserted, as most of the city's defenders remain with the troops west of the city. Near the covered cloisters, covered cloisters. I don't know why they would be coveted. Leading to the city's council conference rooms. Who wrote this? What's the deal? It's like I'm trying to read Daffy Duck.
I don't like how some of the D&D adventures are written.
Oh, rough.
They're not made for like a DM to read off.
Yeah, that's
Which
hard. That's
is-
hard to read. It's like a tongue twister.
They're trying to go back to like Gygax because that's how he used to write too.
Yeah, but like,
But they're
right
doing it
modern.
poorly.
Damn it.
Yeah. So near the covered cloisters leading to the city's council conference rooms, yeah, that's a tough sentence, are two heavily armored knights of Salamnia on horseback. One of them holds a bearer bearing a prominent rose emblem. And they just stand there, not acknowledging anything. Well,
Bruce, like this boy.
sorry, what's Rue say?
He's like, Gregory, is this your boy or what?
Yeah, do I recognize any of these Knights of the Rose?
Roll me a... Actually... Yeah, roll me a wisdom check. Just a d20 plus your wisdom modifier.
Well, 15.
Okay. So you don't... Like, something looks a little off about their armor, but you're not sure what it is. You do notice that it seems to be covered in, like, spots of kind of like ash, and in one case, it looks like a little bit rusty around the outside edges where, like, the arms come out.
Are these like full face helms, or we
Yeah,
can tell these
they're-
are like humans?
Nope, they're covered helms. They're completely, like, you can't see their faces right now. Little eye slits, and that's it. And you can't even see in those because it's very dark.
Yeah, I salute one in traditional Salamnian fashion, but with the wrong hand.
It does not
So I,
respond.
so I flip him off with the left hand.
It does not respond at all. I'm picturing it like the Spaceballs salute, where he like
Yeah.
flips him off and then like wiggles his fingers at him. You do notice that these two knights are positioned in a way that blocks the entrance to the castle proper and the council chambers.
Hey guys, official business, and I flash my badge. I'm gonna try to walk past them.
Uh, so as you try to move past, one of them takes the opportunity to swing at you.
That's not very Knight of the Rose like.
Not so much, is it? Let me pull up their stat block because I didn't have it on my phone.
So Zach, we haven't had a long rest, but we have had a short rest, right? So we can use whatever we need for hit points, but everything else would be as it was at the end of the battle.
Yes. All right. So this guy is it paid?
That's your most powerful cantrip, Dave.
Am I next to our Kender friend?
I mean, you can be absolutely. We're gonna do this one kind of theater of the mind because I didn't actually prep a map for this little section.
Okay, well I will step forward and impose. Well, I guess I'm not wielding a shield in this room, so no, I guess I don't do that. I have my armor, but I probably have my shield, but I'm probably not wielding it and have my weapons and shit out. That would be weird.
So yeah, we'll count this. It's a surprise attack on his part as Balcom tries to walk past. I'm assuming though that a 10 does not hit you.
Yeah, that's half of my armor class.
Okay, so yeah, he just completely like whiffs it when he swings at you. But then it's only the one swing, and then he just returns to attention. He's swinging at you with a longsword.
Were you trying to high five me? Yeah, I think I'm gonna take off for a run for the chambers.
Okay. I'm gonna need everybody to. Well, we can probably roll with the same initiative as before, right? Make it quicker, if that's okay. Or we can re-roll. It's up to you guys.
Whatever's clever.
Whatever works for you, brother.
Okay, we'll keep the same initiative order then. And I will just roll for these guys and see where they land. 12. Okay, so they're gonna go after you guys anyways. Switch those guys on. So, Elquin, what would you like to do in this situation? Like, you guys are all close enough that you can, move close to melee attack, or you can move away, shoot him with a bow, whatever you want to do. Like, you're in kind of an open courtyard.
Well, how far away from him am I at this point, would you say? I'm sorry?
Somewhere between like 10 and 30 feet. I don't know. Somewhere's in that range.
All right, well, I'm gonna move in close to whatever one is closest to Balkan, and I'm gonna dual sword attack him.
Okay.
And I'll put my 100 cents on him.
Okay.
Actually, I'm sorry. I'm just reading to see if I can actually use my 100 cents again or not. If it's been too long.
Oh, is it one
Wait,
per long rest on that? Or one per short?
Hold on. It's not 100. It's Slayer's player. Excuse me. As a bonus action, you can designate one creature you see within 60 feet. The first time each turn that you hit a target with a weapon attack, it takes extra 1d6 damage. This benefit lasts until you finish a short or long rest, or if you designate a different creature.
Okay, so yeah, you'd have it again because you took a short rest.
All right. Oh no, it's oh, okay. Cool. So then yeah, I'm gonna use that then, and then do my first attack. 20 hit, 30.
Yeah, 20 hits.
That's 4 damage, and then my second attack. I assume it was 6 does. Oh no, rolled. Never mind. I hit the wrong button. Second attack. 22. I assume hits.
22 does hit.
So that's another 7 damage, and then a 1d6 for that. Other one. Another 5 damage, so a total of 18 damage.
Okay. So yeah, you run up and slashy slash on him. That's a response. So you are now engaged with him. You are in close combat. So the next would be Rue.
She's gonna twin Tasha's Mind Whip, so that's a intelligence 15 save on both of them.
Okay. First one does not pass. That was a 2. Second one does not pass. That's also a 2.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to switch out dice really soon.
So no reaction this turn, and then next turn it can only take a move, action, or a bonus action.
Okay. And you are staying back from them to do this, right?
She was basically like following Belcom, just that kind of like, I'm just gonna walk the fuck through kind of thing. So, not really sure. But yeah, I would say she's more or less where Belcom was.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll the 3d6 twice, or just one for both?
You can do it twice. 2 different ones.
All right, so 9 on one and 15 on the other.
Okay, so the first one is looking bloodied now. 15. There. Okay. So yeah, they both get like a very subtle like kind of stagger, but that's all that really registers.
She's gonna kind of just like unfurl her wings, her eyes get fiery, and she demands, "Who are you?"
Yeah, no answer from them. They just stand silent, poised, ready to attack again. And if that's your turn, then we're on to Balcom.
Hey, Zach, I'm going to have to jump off now.
Okay.
Pain's getting a little hot.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, go rest up, man.
Yeah, take care, guys.
You got
Yeah,
it.
best of luck.
Feel better, Bill.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Just say en route to the castle, Gregory just went somewhere else. I have to stop over here for a moment. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of rushed past those guys because I thought it was through too, but I was heading right to the governor, see if I can try to save him.
Okay. So just yeah, we'll
Like-
say that you. I mean, you dodged his attack. I would say it's fair to say you can continue walking. Like he already missed his opportunity attack on you, so you probably just continued past
Yeah,
him.
that's what I said when he missed me. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna take off running behind him.
So yeah, with I'll say a movement and using a dash action, you'd be able to get into the council chambers for sure.
Okay.
And, I will actually pull that up because now one of you can see the inside. Load. This was a very hastily thrown together map when I was like, shit, I don't know if we're gonna get that far. I might better build a map. By build, I mean I downloaded a map and then added a couple of things to it. Let's see. Yeah, so I guess I could have technically put the knights out here. Let's do that real quick so we can get the whole thing going. One second. Just use that guy. Just imagine this being two guys, because I can't split up the we'll make them a little bit bigger. Say it looks something like that. So you've got your entrance to the council chamber here. These guys are trying to block it. And Balcom has rushed past into the chambers. And as you enter the chamber, the halls around it are empty and just echo with your footsteps. The main chamber's door stands ajar, and its guard is strangely absent. And though the room usually buzzes with conversation, everything is silent. As you step through the door, a scene of slaughter spills across the council chamber. Several guards wearing the colors of Kalaman soldiers lie tangled amid skeletal remains in tarnished Solamnic armor. The bloody bodies of Kalaman's council members slump in the high-backed chairs across the room's large table. At a position of honor opposite the door, Governor Kalof Miat's body is transfixed to his chair, a gleaming longsword piercing his chest. Next to the governor's body, a man in Solamnic armor rocks back in a chair. He props his booted feet on the table as he balances a scroll on one finger. You see that the governor and the entirety of Kalaman's council, along with 6 castle guards, lie dead here. And when I say dead, I mean like they're real fucking dead. They're chopped up. Let's see, Gregory, peace out. Moves out here. Open's out here, and Archivir is also pieced out.
Yeah, how far can I rush up?
So we will say this is all happening kind of as you rush into this main chamber here, and yeah, you see this guy sitting, kind of atop the throne here. Let me adjust for Nick and Bill not being here. There, and one to each side of him there is one of these figures dressed in this Solamnic armor, and these ones also have these very noticeable like rust and deterioration spots on them. Bad enough that one of them, as you look at its helm, you see that part of its helm was rotted away, and inside of the helm you can actually see bits of skull and skeleton poking through. Like, you can tell this is not a Knight of Solamnia in the sense that you would want them to be, but some sort of an undead creature. So, yeah, as soon as he sees you, the man on the throne stands up, clears his throat, and bombastically declares, "Hail, friend, and fear not, your hero has arrived. I, Knight Caradoc, bring word that the Knights of Solamnia are, at this very moment, en route with all manner of pomp and mustache wax and whatever else they bother with these days. Ha ha ha. He gestures at the corpses about the room. Do try to contain yourselves better than this lot did. Back outside. So as soon as Balcom gets in here, these two creatures are going to make attacks. Let me just bring their stat block back up. 2 time. So each of them is going to multi-attack. One at each of you. I take that back. First, since they do not get, they have to have an action or a movement, and the two of you are engaged in melee distance with them. Each of them is going to reach out with their sword and attempt to tap you as they attempt to do a life drain. Dun, dun, dun. That is an 8 to hit on you, Elquin, which I'm assuming does not hit. And
Gotcha.
It does not.
okay, and a 13 to hit you, Rue.
Misses.
Okay, so it can use its life drain in place of one lung sword attack. Okay, so they still get sword attacks on you. Alright, so Elquin, the sword attack that comes at you, that's not a hit, that's a 3. These are rolling really low. That's a 2 for you, Rue, so their sword attacks run wide as well. Clearly the rust is permeated their armor all the way into the bones. Elquin, you are up.
All right.
And Rue lets you know they can't hit you. Or, yeah, I mean, I guess metagaming, like, they can't take a reaction this turn either.
All right. So if I wanted to move past them, I could without them reacting.
Yeah, they would not have an opportunity attack on you.
All right. I'm gonna try to move my way into the after balcony.
Okay. So yeah, even though you can see the clear intention, they are somewhat frozen in place as you move past. Did you want to use your action to dash and get all the way in to where Balcom is as well? Or did you want to take another turn and do something else instead?
The one near me, if I was to attack it, you said it's bloodied, right?
Yes.
How far will how far will I, if I have 30 feet of action of running, how will I get at least into where I can see what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, you'll make it to the foyer or whatever, like this kind of carpeted looking area here. I don't have this one drawn to scale, so I'll just guesstimate and say, yeah, you're gonna make it halfway pretty much. If you do.
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna, before I do that, I'm gonna dual action attack the bloody dude.
Okay.
When I have the Slayer's Prey on.
Yep.
So that's an 8, so I assume that's a miss.
That is a miss.
And then, but a 24 hits.
24 does hit.
All right, so that is 9 damage plus 2, a total of 11 damage.
Okay. It is now very bloodied.
I run into the room after Falcon.
Okay. Something like that. Alright, Rue, your turn.
She's also gonna basically just jump over them, glide down to, yeah, probably the same place as Elkin ended up. And yeah, is it like immediately clear just from being where she is what happened?
Probably not specifically what happened, but you see a lot of dead Kalamites on the floor with Balcom sort of standing in the middle of them and this guy menacing him from the opposite end. Like, you're kind of looking at it like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh shit. Dead bodies everywhere. Oh crap.
All right, she is going to She's gonna throw Maximilian's Earthen Grasp at the guy, so strength 15 saving
Okay.
at the main guy.
Strength 15. Oh, really? That's interesting. Let's see. That he rolled a 9 minus 5. So that's not a hit. Interesting. It's the first time I actually looked at his stats. That's funny.
You've got a -5 on strength.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so
For
roll damage.
reasons.
Yeah, I believe it. All right, so it's 5 damage. What is it? Bludgeoning. Yeah, 5 bludgeoning damage, and he's restrained.
Okay, he takes the 5 damage, and the hand wraps around him.
And he kind of uses it to shake him and is like, "Who are you, and what have you done?"
He begins to laugh unconcernedly. He says, "Oh, trying to rattle my bones, eh? Well, I did enjoy a firm grip and a handshake." That's the response he gives. I don't know, he's just a smartass about it.
That's the end of Rue's turn.
Okay. Balcom.
Yeah, Balcom's gonna rush right up there. And I mean, he's really kind of searching to see if there's any way that any of these counselors are not dead, at least one of them. But if he makes the realization that they're all dead, he's gonna get super pissed and cast Spirit Guardians.
Yeah, not only do you think that they are beyond, like, not only do you think that there's none of them left alive, you think that most of them are probably beyond even, like, the abilities of, like, a Revivify type spell. Like, you're pretty sure they're so chopped up that there's no bringing them back.
Their hamburger. Okay.
Yeah, like, basically
Yeah.
these guys
Oh
just
yeah,
got
I'm
shredded.
I'm going right up to that guy, and I basically cast Spirit Guardians.
Okay. They get to attack on turn 1, right? Or no, it's when he enters their, or starts his turn in their, or
Yeah,
right?
if he enters, when they first enter, or if they start their turn. Then that's when I roll damage.
Okay. So yeah, the 2 mounted knights outside do not pursue into the chamber. They simply remain at their post. At least as far as you can tell, they don't seem to come trampling in after you. However, the 2 that are standing at the side of Caradoc both march forward to you, Balcom.
Yeah, I would have moved up too. So
Okay. Oh, you're right up on him, aren't you? That's right. You said
yeah.
that. Alright, so it's pretty close like that. So yeah, they both close and attempt.
So DC 15 Wisdom saving throws.
Okay. That's a fail. And something that I don't remember what their wisdom was. Okay, so one fails, one passes.
So one takes 5 radiant damage, the other one takes 10 radiant damage.
Okay.
I don't know if they're weaker to radiant or not, but
Double check that, because they actually might be. Resistances. Nope, but they are not resistant to it. You're in luck. One takes 10, one takes 5. Okay. And upon taking that damage, they do their attacks. Both of them are going to attempt a life drain on you. before making their sword attack. Do you think they can only do... Let's see, that is going to be a 10, that misses. Followed by a 16 with the sword, that I'm assuming also misses.
Yeah.
Next life drain is a 18, that's a miss. You said you had a 20, right?
Yep.
Okay, and the next one is a 13, which misses. So, Malcolm must be one fast Kender. I can't
Yeah.
imagine that he's wearing that much armor.
He's wearing half plate.
Okay, so yeah,
So-
some armor.
So yeah, so he's got like a good, his whole upper torso is metal, but his legs are pretty open. But he's short. It's hard for people to swing down at his ankles, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. So they
And a
whiff it.
shield.
That brings us back to. Oh, I'm sorry. That is Caradoc gets to attempt his saving throw. Let's see what he gets down. It's a strength save, right?
Yep, 15.
No, DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom to escape. Oh, he starts in it too. That's right. So he's got to do both. All right. So we'll call that the wisdom. That's a failed wisdom saving throw.
So he takes 14 damage. That is
14.
full damage.
Okay. And he
He doesn't
continues.
take extra damage for being restrained, does he?
Not extra damage from being restrained, no. But since he started his turn in it, he basically like the hand's holding him, and then the ancestor or spirit guardians they're just shredding him while he's being held still. Through this though, he
The little
continues to
Balkans are
laugh.
biting him.
Yep. It just looks like gremlins with them like little Balkums all over him.
Just the head part.
And yeah, as he continues to laugh as these little Balkums just shred him, the body he is currently occupying just dissolves into pieces. Essentially, it falls apart, hitting the floor. And as it does so, you see the two remaining knights. They also collapse to the floor, and a gray mist comes out of the bodies that are laying there and all coalesces up in front of you. And he says, "Now you will know my true power." And he is in a incorporeal form, just sort of like steam floating in front of you guys. And with that, he is going to make his multi-attack, which is 2 Withering Touch attacks. Oof. It's one of those Emperor Kefka type things where he's like starts off real weak and then pretends to be real strong. What did I just do? Alright, so it is a 17 to hit you, Balcom, which I'm assuming it does not.
Misses, yeah.
And second one, that's an 18. So he attempts to attempts to move forward, and tendrils come out and attempt to grasp you, but again, you just through your kenderness are able to escape it.
Ducking and diving, dipping and diving.
Yeah, I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Alright, and that wraps back around to Elquin. So now the two whites are out of the picture. They've both collapsed onto the ground. Sorry, they're whites, by the way. In case you guys haven't been able to tell by now, they're very undead. And you are now just facing this this mist. Like you can see Balcom dealing with him.
All right. So
I'm wondering,
first,
is he still restrained?
He is not, because basically the hand squeezed him, and when the chipper shredder there, the spirit guardians hit him, it like popped the body that he was occupying, and so clearly he was, it seems anyway, like he was occupying all 3 of these deceased bodies, and now he's sort of just gone full ghost, or full spirit of some sort.
Gotcha.
all right. So I'm going to use an action to to use Hunter Sense to learn whether the creature has any damage, immunities, resistance, or vulnerabilities, and what they are if the creature is not hidden from divination magic.
Okay, yeah. So resistances, you immediately can tell he is resistant to necrotic, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks that are not silver weapons. He is immune to poison as an undead, and also immune to being exhausted. This is he's immune to poison damage, and he's immune to the condition poisoned. And you can tell that he does have a sunlight sensitivity, so while in direct sunlight, he has disadvantage on attack rolls, as well as wisdom checks that rely on any sight. You can tell he makes 2 attacks, either 2 longsword attacks, 2 longbow attacks, or 1 and a life drain. And that's pretty much his one-trick pony trick.
All right, well, I use my free action to share all this information with the party. And then if I cast Hail of Thorns, does that make my arrows a magical weapon or just the Hail of Thorns part?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it imbues magic into the attack. I would count it as a magical attack.
All right, so for my bonus action, I'm going to cast Hail of Thorns.
Okay.
And that'll be my turn. I'm going to
use it next turn. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And actually, how far away from him am I at this point?
Probably about 30 feet or so.
I'm going to move another 30 feet back.
Okay. So you just back up as far as you can in the room so that you've got plenty of range. Sorry, like I said, the scale's probably a little skewed on this map, but we'll guesstimate. Alright, Rue, you're up.
Alright, she's gonna cast she's gonna cast let's see, she'll use an action to try to catch the dude in the hand again. So strength 15. And actually she's gonna quicken spell it, so that's a bonus action.
Okay. That is strength 15. I rolled an 18, but minus 5. So
Nice.
It grabs it. However, because he has incorporeal movement, at the beginning of his turn, he can essentially move through this as if it was just difficult terrain. So
that's until the beginning of his turn.
yeah, it'll hold him, but only for the remainder, like until he goes again.
Right. Got it.
You can already see the tendrils pulling through the fist and stuff, you know.
But he can still take magical bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
So that is 4 damage.
Okay. I don't know how that works if he's resistant to bludgeoning, but it's magical bludgeoning. I mean, I'm assuming because it says from non-magical sources.
Resistant to bludgeoning from non-magical sources.
Well, it says damage resistance is necrotic, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks that aren't silvered. So yeah, I would assume because it's a magical bludgeoning attack, we'll still count it. That was what, 4 damage you said?
Yep.
Okay.
And then she'll throw a fireball at him with her that quicken spell. Or sorry, firebolt, not fireball.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering, I was like, wow.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, there's too many Belkins. Alright. There should be a +1 to this. So 19 to hit, but +1 from the War Mage thing.
Right. Definitely hits.
Word. Alright, and 10 fire damage.
Okay. Yeah, so now he's a ghost held by an earthen hand that's also on fire.
Love it.
Awesome. That's a fucking heavy metal album cover for sure. Okay, is that your whole turn?
Yeah, she'll yeah, probably just hang out where she is, or maybe even just move so she's not quite. If he does some, well, I guess yeah, she knows now that he doesn't have a line spell, so yeah, that's it. She'll yell to Welcome. I don't know how to not make it metagamey, but that he's got advantage.
Gotcha. Okay, Balcom, it is your turn, and you now have advantage on what is it on any attack rolls, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm was going to cast Sacred Flame, which is a DC 15 dex save, which I don't know if he's grasped, if he can do dex saves or not, but
Let's see. He's currently. What is the condition? It's restrained, right?
Disadvantage on dex saving throws. Yeah,
Oh,
restraint.
no, I'm sorry. He has the condition immunity. He's immune to being restrained. That is one of his
Oh.
condition immunities. So he's not restrained. He's just grappled for till the beginning of his turn, essentially, I think.
Okay. Do you want me to see what those rolls were in case they wouldn't have hit with advantage?
well, I mean, he just doesn't have disadvantage on a DC 15 dex save.
Yeah, so he's still got to make the DC 15 dex save. And I'm guessing that a 9 plus 4, 13 is not 15. Okay.
He's going to take full damage here. 10 radiant damage.
All right. It's weird. You'd think as being undead, he would take, he would have a sensitivity to radiant damage, but he does not.
I was hoping, but
yeah. Like, I feel like they rely too much on all the immunities and stuff, and they don't give enough, like, specific weaknesses in certain cases on a lot of these. But he does take 10 damage. And he lets out another, like, dark laugh from his ghostly form. And ooh, that tickles. He's, like, super cringy, creepy anime villain type. See, it is now the beginning of his turn, so he does not need to make a saving throw to become ungrappled because he can just move through the hand using 5 feet of damage or 5 feet of movement or whatever, 10 feet of movement to step out of it.
He still has
He
do a
has
DC
the
15 wisdom
DC 15
saving throw.
whiz for the chipper shredder. That is a 9 plus 1, 10, so that's a fail.
Takes 10 damage.
Okay, he now looks bloodied. If a ghost can look bloody, I don't know. He's got holes in his mist. And
You're not looking good, bud.
he also has to do his own personal saving throw shit. That was a ooh. Okay. So as he approaches you, menacingly, getting ready to attempt his withering touch again, you hear him cry out, "No, not yet! I must finish this! For Lord Soth!" And he begins to suddenly thin out, and in just mere moments, the form of him has vanished.
The hand's flopping around like, what the fuck? Where did he go?
Yeah, the hand just flips him off. Like, feeling around blindly. Like, where is he? Yeah, so you guys are now left in this pile of dead bodies, hanging out. And suddenly a voice from the shadows speaks up. You must hurry on. And as you look, the musician, Lidara, whom you met at Eastman's funeral, the tall, bluish-hued elf. She emerges from a corner of the chamber, though you could have sworn it was empty just a moment ago. A look of urgency is on her features. She points to a shattered door at the rear of the chamber. There's a secret beneath this castle, one the old Lord Soth can't be allowed to possess.
Can I do like insight check or something to make sure she's not also a zombie?
Yeah, you're trying to determine if she's undead?
Yeah. Or basically make sure it's like who we think it is.
So yeah, go ahead and roll me insight. Here's what I'm gonna do though. So there is a new rule that has come out of it's actually I think was made for Critical Role, and this is a really fun role, and I cannot remember what the hell they called it. Not empathy, but with so it works. Here's how it works. You're gonna roll 2d20 for your insight check. And I will set the DC at this one fairly low. However, it shouldn't matter that much. You're going to take whichever roll is farther away from 10, and that is going to be your result.
Okay. Plus the 4.
Yeah,
my
plus
bonus.
plus your modifiers. Yep.
All right. So that is a 12 and a 19. So 19 plus 4 are 23.
Okay. So yeah, as you're kind of trying to like figure out, is she like undead? You realize she's not undead. You're fairly certain that there's no life there. Like, you look for a moment and you almost see through her. At this, a loud noise at the front of the council chambers from where you entered kind of makes you all turn for just a moment, and when you turn back, Lidara is gone. At the back of the chamber lies a shattered wooden door leading down a set of stairs. And I would say that it seems like your future is somewhere's down there. Hey, that rhymed. Nice. It's a good way to end the session. Yeah, so you guys, you're not quite sure what's going on with this Caradoc guy. He seems like maybe he's committed some sort of a coup in Kalaman, or at least that was the plan until he was interrupted. And it also seems as though there's someone named Lord Soth in the chambers below that perhaps you should go see about, as he must have had something to do with this massacre. Also, you're standing in a pile of gibbed bodies, so it's a really good scene. I like it.
Since I ended up never even attacking, does my Hell of Thrones still count as cast or no?
I don't know if there's a duration on that. I don't know what the duration would be if you don't use it.
It lasts for a minute.
Okay, so it would be normally 10 rounds of combat that you could use it up to.
Yeah.
So probably won't be active next time when we start.
Gotcha.
Like, I mean, maybe if you remind me, then I might let you get away with like 1, because I'm me and I always let people slide.
Don't worry about it. No worries.
I figure always err on the side of players because it makes for a way more entertaining game for me. And yeah, hopefully Nick and Bill will be able to make it next week. Anybody got any? Are there any like anybody can't make it next week that we know about?
Not that I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, unless something happens at work, I should be able to.
Yep, I should be all good as well. So yeah, next time you can enjoy. Oh, sorry. What's up, Dave?
Well, so next week's a little weird for me. My dad's actually having open heart surgery on Friday,
Oh,
so
geez.
I'm gonna
Okay.
drive back to Saratoga Thursday night, and I will almost definitely be there Sunday. But I'm not sure exactly like how long I'll be there. It's possible I'd be driving back Sunday night.
Okay. Well, if you
I-
can't make it, no worries. Obviously, you know, family first. But yeah, if you can, great. And if you can't, then good luck with everything. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's-
hope everything goes well with your dad.
Thanks. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Man, it'd be cool to have an in-person session at some point too, but I don't know if that's practical with everybody else's schedules and needs and everything.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't have my daughter next Sunday, so I don't know if you're planning on being in Saratoga or around the Saratoga area. We could probably arrange something to do in the
I could-
afternoon.
I could go earlier on Sunday if need be.
Yeah, I mean, I've got all day Saturday and Sunday off. I don't have any plans, so.
What time do you get out of work, Nick?
5. And then I like home by 5:30. Then I eat quick, and then I usually just make it on.
So that would be
Okay.
tough for you.
Where do you live, Nick?
I live in Malta.
Okay, so
That's not too far. I'm just wondering if we could figure out a like common ground to meet at or something. You know, someplace find like a freaking bar, or, I don't know, cafe or something.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if something works out, like if something occurs to you, let me know. Yeah, I will almost definitely still be in Saratoga on Sunday. Not sure if I'll like leave first thing Monday morning or, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of impossible to predict, so I don't want to have
Yeah,
anyone like
absolutely.
make a bunch of plans and have to scramble them. But anyway,
no doubt.
yeah, I'll keep you posted.
All right.
Yeah, leave it open ended. I mean, if it works out, I'd definitely be down to get together.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, because we have yet in over 2 years of playing to do that, so we should definitely make an effort to do it at some point. I'll even bring a real camera. We'll figure it out.
Right.
Awesome, guys. So yeah, next week we'll have you explore the underbelly of Castle Kalaman and see what's going on down there, because there's probably some lore.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Have
Good
a
night,
good night,
guys.
everybody. All right, good night, Internet. We'll be back next week. I mean, when I say we'll be back next week, I mean you're probably gonna get like 8 videos dumped on you all at once. So enjoy. Have a good binge watch. It's like 15 hours. It's fine. Bye.